Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we'll be taking a look at the brand new Primal Attack Soundstrike Majungasaurus. So a quick little story of how I ended up with this figure. This figure, along with the other new Soundstrikes, have not been found in the US yet at the time of recording of this video, of course. They have been popping up in Europe at different retail locations. So my wife checked my Amazon list and saw that I had this Majungasaurus on there, and she decided to order it. She ended up getting it through Amazon UK, which means she paid a little bit above retail for it, but it was a very nice surprise, and I'm so happy to have this figure in hand. This was definitely a very highly anticipated figure for me ever since it was revealed at Toy Fair. So this was a huge surprise when I got home today. So thank you, wife. Appreciate it. So with these new figures popping up across Europe, I'm sure it's just a matter of a very short time before this wave shows up in the US. So let's just go over the packaging really quick. This is the same style packaging we've seen on the previous Soundstrike figures. You get the Jurassic World logo, owned in blue, as always, the paddock fences with the nice sunset background, and spinning it around, you get a nice picture of the Majungasaurus in action. And then right here in the bottom corner, you have the other two figures available in this wave, the repaint of the Parasaurolophus and the brand new Irritator. I can't wait to get my hands on that figure. That one looks really cool, and I know a lot of people will be happy that a new Parasaurolophus is available because the original dual attack one is going for some big bucks right now. So anyways, enough about the packaging. Let's crack open this beautiful figure and take a closer look. And here is the Majungasaurus of the packaging, and this is such a cool figure. Mattel has been absolutely killing it this year with Primal Attack, with all the new species they've been giving us. So a quick round of applause to Mattel for just really giving us some bizarre species, and this Majungasaurus is definitely bizarre looking. And on top of that, this is a pretty accurate looking Majungasaurus. I know we don't really talk too much about accuracy when it comes to the Jurassic World figures, but this is a really nice overall Majungasaurus figure. A couple of quick facts about Majungasaurus. It was a late Cretaceous theropod from Madagascar. It is a type of albelosaur similar to Carnotaurus, and there's also evidence that this dinosaur was a cannibal. Majungasaurus bones have been found with teeth marked that match up to, you guessed it, Majungasaurus, so there is evidence that this animal did prey on its own kind, and it was also a mid-sized theropod. Since we're talking about size, let's just do a couple quick measurements. This figure is just about 13 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, and just about 3.5 inches tall. The height will change depending on how you have the figure positioned. So Majungasaurus is about 19 to 23 feet long, which will put this figure somewhere in the 118 to the 121 scale range, which means this figure scales pretty well with the human figures in the Jurassic World line. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with that beautiful looking head sculpt. This is a really nice rendition of what a Majungasaurus skull should look like. It's very short and deep, and it's also very wide, just like it was in real life. You have a lot of nice rough patches of bone and knobs on the skull, which is also characteristic of Majungasaurus. So it is a really nicely sculpted head. So whoever sculpted this figure definitely did their homework. I love the paint scheme on this figure. The main body coloration is this very dark green color. Then you have this brighter yellowish green pattern starting on the head that goes down the neck, that goes to about the midpoint of the body, and it's also the same coloration of the belly. And then you have this very dark blue coloration mixed in with that greenish yellow pattern. And it just looks really cool. You have some nice green eyes with a black pupil. The bottom jaw is sculpted in that yellowish green plastic, and you have a very nicely textured tongue. Let me just get the light in there. Teeth are well sculpted and painted pretty nice. Definitely love the head sculpt on this figure. It also has a nice long powerful neck, has those very short and useless arms, which are characteristic of albelosaurs. You have some nice sculpted detail along the body, some knobs and spikes along the side and along the back, and you have these really cool looking spikes that are underneath the throat and underneath the lower jaw right there. Very cool touch. The legs are short and stocky, which is true for Majungasaurus in real life. The toe claws are not painted, which is very odd because most of the Soundstrike claws on the theropods have been painted in, but I'm sure if Mattel painted them, they'll probably only be half painted. That's something that I have noticed lately on the new Primal Attack figures, that they're only painting the top of the toe claws and leaving the bottom with no paint on it. And since we've got the figure turned over, here is the scan code, which does work in the app if you want to scan it into the fax app. And then going down to the tail, you have some nice sculpted folds and ridges and some more spikes. And they think you have a large row of spikes along the base of the tail. And it's very, very cool looking. I love how bizarre the sculpt is on this Majungasaurus. I have a little bit of sloppy paint right here, but I can easily take care of that with some nail polish remover and a Q-tip. And then going on the legs right here, you have more of those spikes. I love how spiky this figure looks. It is such a cool looking figure. So let's move on to articulation. This figure does have some basic articulation. The lower jaw can close and open. That's the farthest it can open. And then the arms right here can move forwards and backwards. And they are on a hinge. So this Majungasaurus can give you the tiniest hug of all time. The legs have a very tight ratchet joint, which allows them to click into different positions. And there's also the hip tilt to help with stability, which actually kind of helps with this figure. If I have the legs like in a neutral position, the figure kind of just balances very weird. I just have to pull this leg up just a little bit and the figure will be more stable. And that is pretty much it for articulation. The rest of it is tied to the action feature on this figure. Moving on to the action feature, this is a Soundstrike figure, so it does have electronic sounds, and I was pleasantly surprised that it actually has new sounds. I figured they would just reuse the sound box from the Cryolophosaurus, but when I started messing around with it, I heard a bunch of new sounds. Now, if anyone heard these on any other electronic dinosaurs, just please correct me in the comments, because I know you guys are good for that. So what you want to do is just grab the tail right here, and that will cause the head to move side to side and up and down, and also activate the electronic sounds in this figure. And I think that's it for the sound. So definitely appreciating the new sounds on here. Some of them sounded like an Indoraptor to me. It seems like Mattel loves using the Indoraptor sounds on their Soundstrike figures. All right, let's move on with some comparisons, starting off with one of the human figures. Here it is with John Hammond. And like I said earlier, this Majungasaurus scales really well with the human figures in this line. And here it is with one of the attack packs. Here it is with the Dilophosaurus. And here it is with one of the Sabbath Strikes. Here it is with Charlie. And here it is with the Soundstrike Cryolophosaurus. And here it is with the brand new Massive Biters Seats. And here it is with another Bellasaur. Here it is with the new Toro Carnotaurus. And lastly, here it is with the new epic roaring Tyrannosaurus Rex. Alright, so final thoughts on this figure. I absolutely love this new Majungasaurus. It is beautifully sculpted, and it is a pretty accurate looking Majungasaurus. It's not, 100% accurate, but for a Mattel Jurassic World toy, it's pretty damn good. So when this figure eventually releases in the US, I do highly recommend picking this figure up. It is definitely worth it. I absolutely love the head on this thing. It's beautifully detailed, a lot of nice scale detail on there. Like I said, whoever sculpted this figure definitely did their homework on this one. I like this figure so much. I wouldn't mind in the future if Mattel did a repaint of this. This is definitely a figure I wouldn't mind adding a few of to my collection. So hopefully this figure, along with its wave mates, the Irritator and Parasaurolophus, show up in the US relatively soon. I have a gut feeling we're probably going to see them popping up in the next month or so. It's just a gut feeling I have. I definitely want to pick up that Irritator. It looks really cool. Not completely sold on the new Parasaurolophus. I'm not really digging that metallic paint that's on it, but knowing me, I'll probably pick it up. I do really like the overall sculpt of that Parasaurolophus. So that will pretty much do it for the review. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.